importance of NAAC in higher education institution. I request Mr. Kiran B, Department of CSE, to introduce our today's resource person to the participants.
Good morning, all. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Nagesh Prabhu to the gathering. Dr. Nagesh Prabhu, Professor and at Department of EEE, NAAC, Institute of Technology, has received Diploma in Electrical Engineering in 1986 from Karnataka Polytechnic, Mangalore. He has earned AMIE degree in Electrical Engineering from Institution of Engineers, India in 1991, MTech from KREC, presently National Institute of Technology, Surathkal, Karnataka, in 1995, and PhD degree in Power System and Power Electronics from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, India in 2005. Dr. Nagesh Prabhu is passionate for teaching as a career and has served in the academic field since 1986 at various capacities and has a total 34 years of teaching and research experience. He has obtained the research grants from various sources including CPRI, MOP, Government of India, AICTE, New Delhi, and KCTU, Government of Karnataka, to carry out research in the area of power electronics applications to facts, electric vehicles, and advanced converters with wideband cap SiC power electronic devices. His research interests are mainly in the area of power system dynamics and control, HVDC, and facts. He has guided 2 research scholars for their PhD degree from JNTU Hyderabad and 2 research scholars for their PhD degree from VTU. 2 research scholars are currently pursuing their PhD under VTU Belgavi. He is presently serving as an associate editor for IEEE Access Multidisciplinary Q1 journal, and he is a reviewer for many journals. He is a senior member of IEEE, member of XCOM, and chair of educational activities of IEEE Mangalore subsection, life member of ISTE, and a fellow of Indian Society of Lighting Engineers. We are happy to have you as a resource person for the FDP. I welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. So, shall I start the session?
Thank you, Kiran sir. Yes, sir. Now I request Dr. Nagesh Prabhu sir to take over this session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sneha. So, first of all, very good morning to you all. I am delighted to be one of the resource person for this very apt and extremely necessary workshop on NAAC accreditation. So we have been in this NAAC accreditation works for many years from now, as our institution is also NAAC accredited since from 2014. So at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers, the management of ATME College of Engineering, and Dean Academics, Professor Govinde Gowda sir. So on his request, I agreed, and I thank all of you for making this possible, and especially the participants from various colleges. So definitely you are going to take away something out of this workshop, and definitely you should be implementing all these whatever you have gained for these 3 days, and hopefully as a team member for the betterment of quality, we all can work together and exchange our ideas in the best manner so that it helps the engineering teaching fraternity. So thank you once again. So let me take you to the presentation now. Yeah, today's presentation is mainly discussing about a revised accreditation framework. So some of the topics may be repeating. So because you have attended 2 days. So but I hope I will do some justice for at least criterion 5 and 6. Now NAAC they have revised the accreditation and assessment framework in the year 2017. So all the required data is distributed in terms of metrics and key indicators across various criteria. Now new NAAC SSR is mainly based on qualitative metrics and quantitative metrics And we will also discuss what are the highlights of criterion 5, which is student support and progression, and followed by criterion 6, the governance, leadership and management, and guidelines for opting out some of the matrix. So that can also be discussed at the end, followed by conclusions. So this is the organization of a presentation of today's. So now, revised assessment and accreditation framework by NAAC. As I said, it was launched in July 2017. So before 17 or up to July 2017, it was more of qualitative peer judgment kind of analysis and assessment. So now they have moved from qualitative peer judgment to data-based quantitative indicator. So the moment when we say data-based quantitative indicator, so we need to upload lot of data, and this authenticity of the data and the requirement of the data on a continuous basis over the years, over say last 4 or 5 years. So that need to be provided by the institution. And the highlights of this new accreditation framework is extensive use of ICT, confirming scalability and robustness. And it is made very simple. As a process, it is simple now. Drastic reduction in number of questions. Size of the report. Earlier, the size of the report is more than 200 pages in most of the cases. Along with appendix, additional appendix, so it would go up to say sometimes 350, 400 pages. And visit days is also reduced for this new accreditation frameworks. Now everything will be over within 2 days. And there are a lot of other highlights also. Now the NAAC has benchmarked the NAAC indicators with other international quality assessment frameworks. Now pre-qualifier, before applying we have to apply for the pre-qualifier for peer team visit. And at least 25% of the system generated score, the pre-qualifier should score. Then only our we are allowed to submit SSR, self-study report. And the entire self-study report, in the self-study report, because it is now all majorly quantitative based, system generated score with the combination of online evaluation. So most of our data is getting verified. Up to about 70% of the assessment or assessment of whatever the data we have given, so that will be over. Then only peer judgment, about 30% is to be done and verified only by the physical inspection and by visiting the by giving the physical visit by the peer team to the college. So the element of third party validation. So now NAAC hires third party validation for data verification. So the moment when we submit SSR, so they will go through the data, and wherever they come across some doubts or clarification required, so they seek the institutions back, and all our satisfactory inputs for their queries, if once it is approved, so then finally about 70% of the total evaluation is getting over at the end of data validation and verification. So now appropriate differences in the metrics, because there are lot of colleges coming into, some of our universities, some are autonomous colleges, some are affiliated or constituent colleges. See, all these colleges will have different functionality. So that means there should be some difference in the metrics which is suited for all these category of institutions, and also weightages for various metrics that also need to be slightly changed. So NAAC has addressed all these differences, and they have come up with the different weightage and especially different weightage and key indicators for various type of institutions. Then several metrics to bring in enhanced participation of students and alumni. So what we have is the participation of students. They are the stakeholders. Alumni will definitely go out of the institution once they clear the degree, once they complete the degree, and they bring name and fame to the institution. So participation of students and alumni is most important in any accreditation process, and several metrics are brought in this new accreditation framework. So now it is mainly based on quality indicator framework. So what exactly it means? It should be a criteria based assessment, okay, and that forms the backbone of assessment and accreditation process of NAAC. There are 7 criteria which represent the core functions and activities of a higher education institution and serves as the basis for the assessment. And what are the 7 criteria? You might have already gone through this, so but quickly I will go through: curricular aspects, teaching, learning, evaluation, research, innovations and extensions, infrastructure and learning resources, student support and progression, governance, leadership and management, institutional values and best practices. So now out of these 7, so I will be touching some of the glimpses of criterion 5 and 6, that is student support and progression and governance, leadership and management. And all these 7 criteria, the assessment is mainly based on our responses to all these 7 criteria and in terms of metrics. And finally, there will be 121 to 137 depending on the institution. As I said earlier, it may be a university, it may be an autonomous institution, or it may be a affiliated college, maybe UG or PG. So for different category of institutions, there will be different number of metrics, and all these matrices are spread for 7 criteria. So now for 7 criteria, see, U stands for university. These are the weightages for each of the criteria. A for autonomous and affiliated, it may be a UG institution or it may be a PG institution. Finally, all these weightages add up to 1000. So now you can see what is most important for getting accredited is the first, second and third criterions, that is curricular aspects, teaching, learning, evaluation, research, innovation and extension. See, that itself will cost about 50%, about 50 or slightly more than 50%. Infrastructure and learning resources, absolutely every college is having an excellent infrastructure nowadays. Learning resources are also provided, but it is the duty and it is in the hands of a teaching fraternity that the first three should be met. Then student support and progression, governance and leadership management and institutional values and best practices, that amounts to about 30%. So I will be touching on the 5th and 6th criterion, and whether it is only 1000, whether that is mandatory. So question is absolutely the answer is no. So it is because some of the higher education institutions may opt out certain weightages or certain metrics, somewhere about 3 to 5%, and they are non-applicable to them. So non-applicable means they should justify that it is non-applicable. Only then such a justification, based on that justification, NAAC will consider. So if such a case, if it is 5%, up to 5% means about say 50 marks. So then this total, wherever we have opted out, so accordingly the total weightage gets reduced and CGPA will be based on considering or reducing that opted out metrics or weightage for the opted out metrics. So in such a case, the total will be less than 1000. So maybe about maximum means about 5%. Now there are 7 criterions, and these 7 criterions are spread to key indicators. There are 34 key indicators for universities, 34 for autonomous and 32 for affiliated or constituent colleges. So these about 34 key indicators, out of that we have qualitative metrics, that is QLM, quantitative metrics QNM. So totally at the nutshell, total metrics about 137 for universities, about 136 for autonomous college, about 121 for affiliated and constituent colleges. So now what are these key indicators? Under each of the criterion, a few key indicators are identified. So what these key indicators mean? Key indicators are further delineated as metrics which actually elicit responses from the higher education institution. See, higher education institution should submit the responses. NAAC will elicit response. See, based on but responses to be finally categorized as the answers to the queries. Okay, so queries are maybe qualitative metrics or quantitative metrics. So now qualitative metrics are seeking descriptive data. Okay, so we need to write in terms of paragraph, okay, or in terms of one page answer with supportive documents with supportive data accordingly. So it is a descriptive type of data what need to be given. That is to be dealt qualitatively. Quantitatively, it is actually based on the facts and figures. So actual online formats seek only data. So they have a format, online format. We need to enter those formats, and while entering those format, we have to have the worksheet. How many such events are conducted? What are the data for that? All supportive documents should be with us, and it should be uploaded as a proof for having conducted. So all this will be processed digitally, and data validation verification will ensure the correctness of the data whatever we upload or submit. So it is necessary to fill in details for denominator and numerator, and as well as we have to mention it in percentage also. So how the data is arrived, that depends on the numerator, denominator and the percentage. So now let us look at the criterion 5. So student support and progression. So this particular criteria highlights the institutional efforts towards providing necessary assistance to student. For what? Every institution need to enable the students to acquire meaningful experiences for learning at the campus. So there is a saying, if the student has not learned, the teacher has not taught. So this is displayed in the army training centers. So it is finally the responsibility of the teachers that finally student need to understand. Otherwise, the entire process of teaching learning will go as a waste. So there are challenges for the students that also need to be addressed by the teaching fraternity. So now facilitate their holistic development. Whether it is only academic development, absolutely no. They should have overall development. Being in a institution, they should develop the total personality development, and finally we should witness the holistic development in the personality in the students. So then they should progress well. So it should not be just securing a mere pass. They should make use of the knowledge what they have gained to make a excellent profession, or to excellent they may have to join to a higher education out of the knowledge, based on the knowledge whatever they have gained. Then criterion 5 also looks into students performance in academics, and how the alumni are settled, okay, once they pass out. So then how they have gained a professional name, what is their professional establishment, so how they have whether they have established well. All such alumni profiles will also be looked into. So then progression of students to higher education, how many students or what percentage of students have entered into or taken up higher education. So that is also a important factor, and whether they have gained a gainful employment, so that also matters in this student support and progression. So the institution should support all these metrics or all these categories, so that finally the student will develop excellently in terms of his professional career building. Now, in this criteria, there are 4 key indicators. The first key indicator is student support, and these are the weightages. So weightages may be different for different category of institution. Then student progression, student participation and activities, then alumni engagement. There are 4 key indicators. All weightages, if you add, it will add up to 100 at the end. And in the case of affiliated, it is 140, and PG affiliated institution, it is about 130. Okay. So now, what is meant by student support? So what mechanisms we have in the institution, whether we have a guidance cell, career guidance cell, whether we have a placement cell, whether the students' grievances are addressed, and whether there is a grievance redressal cell, what are the welfare measures to support the students? Okay, so all these mechanisms and their fruitful utilization, or the students should be supported by all these mechanisms. Then there should be specially designed inputs. See, some of the students are having difficulties in learning. So how we can support them? What measures the institution has taken or the department has taken? So because the challenges of students in every department is different. So every department should have their own way of addressing the difficulties of learning. So because not every subject is easy, not every subject is difficult at the same point of time. So how well, because finally we should ensure that student learns and some kind of learning happens which is going to benefit them in building the professional career. So provision is also made for bridge and value added courses. Whatever we teach, the university syllabus, for example, if you take, that may not be just adequate for the student. So in addition to that, some additional value added courses should also be thought of, and during vacations or during weekends, some of these value added courses, particularly one second. Yeah, particularly value added courses will give additional horizon for their learning. So institution has a well structured, organized guidance and counseling system in place. So with all this, the institution have to exhibit that they have a structured, organized guidance and counseling system. So students are also benefited through scholarships, freeships, and other means. And in what way students can be benefited? So that should be identified by the institutions. So now in this student support, in this first key indicator, there are some queries. Okay, so now what is the average percentage of students benefited by scholarships and freeships provided by the government during last 5 years? So this is QNM. QNM is quantitative metric. So now here inside the bracket I wrote 6/20. That is 6 is for autonomous and 20 is for affiliated college. So for affiliated college, you can see the weightage is 50. For autonomous, weightage is 30. Okay. So now we have to give. We cannot cook up anything here, because whatever the government scholarships that has been received by the college, that need to be transferred to students. So and we need to give all those details, and we need to upload the relevant data also. Percentage of students benefited by scholarships, freeships provided by the government. So this is the first metric under student support, 5.1.1. In 5.1.2, average percentage of students benefited by scholarships, freeships provided by the institution. In first metric, it is provided by the government. Now it is provided by the institution and non-government agencies. Okay, so that will have a weightage of 5. So this is same weightage for autonomous as well as affiliated. So I considered only autonomous and affiliated. Universities will slightly different, the responses also. So that is available in the NAAC website and the manual. Now, number of capacity building, capability enhancement and development schemes. So what kind of schemes that a institution should have? So there is 8 marks weightage, okay, 8/10. So that is 8 for autonomous and 10 for affiliated. So soft skills may be active listening, public speaking and presentation, writing skills, verbal and non-verbal communication, negotiation, persuasion, leadership, teamwork, empathy, patience, and diplomacy. All these are, say, the variety of soft skills a student at the end of his study period that he should have or he should develop. So now, if he has, it is fine. That should be displayed and witnessed. And some of the technical knowledge is essential to be a successful, to take up successful career in engineering. So the soft skill definitely play a important role. It is not that only academics is just good enough to get a gainful employment. So it is better that employers will also look at STEM professionals for that best, because they are best suited for career advancement. So that's why communication, creativity, adaptability, collaboration, leadership, and these are all few soft skills that mainly help our engineering students. So now language skills. So at least in a few autonomous colleges, we have introduced different foreign languages, and at least one language a student should definitely take up and register, and he should complete. So if not, it is not that only autonomous or universities can implement. Even otherwise affiliated college should also conduct separate classes during leisure time. So life skills, physical fitness, yoga, health and hygiene. AICT has suggested many courses on life skill. So some of the autonomous colleges, they have taken this because syllabus is also framed by AICT. So all such courses are made as a part of open electives or part of global electives in some of the autonomous colleges. So physical education, yoga and mental health and hygiene, all such courses related to these topics pertaining to life skill are being introduced. And if not introduced, maybe if we say the affiliated college is not having such courses, the other affiliated colleges are free to take classes during leisure time. Then awareness of trends in technology, ICT and computing skills. So what is really happening? What is the recent trends in computer branch? So all such technologies need to be, students should be aware of those things. So this cannot be entirely taught by framing the syllabus. So maybe we may have to arrange guest lectures in the recent advances in various ICT and computer technology, and maybe blockchain, okay, and machine learning, artificial intelligence. So some of these topics need to be, if possible, you can add in autonomous college or university. It is possible to include and accommodate in the syllabus. But in affiliated college, you can think of conducting guest lectures or additional skill development programs. So now the various data required are capability building and skill enhancement initiatives. Which year such a program is implemented, how many students have enrolled, and which are the agencies, in case if you have hired agencies, their involvement and contact details. All such data need to be uploaded to the SSR. Now, average percentage of students benefited by guidance for competitive examination, career counseling, that for the last 5 years. So this is also a good point to note. And competitive examinations, like because GATE is now been made mandatory for getting or applying for any public sector companies. So GATE or GRE or TOEFL, all such competitive examinations, and IES, IAS, so some, and UPFC, UPSC, all such examinations, some of the coaching can also be thought of at the institution level. So students will be kept busy. Not that every student will register for all these courses. At least few courses, at least about in a class of say 60, at least say 20% of the students will register for at least a few of the courses, another 10 to 15%, wherever the students are interested. But there should be a provision, there should be a mechanism in the college, that is most important. And when once the word of mouth spreads, if the competitive examination or the coaching for the competitive examination given, see, some of the faculty members I have witnessed in many institutions, faculty members, they themselves write and clear the gate. Okay, it is not that they would like to change the employment, but as a challenge, faculty member will take the gate examination and clear. See, such faculty members in every college need to be identified, and we can deploy such faculty members in view of training the students by reducing their regular teaching load. So we are all exercising such measures here, and that will definitely benefit for the overall development of the institution. So now the institution has a transparent mechanism for timely redressal of student grievances. Okay, so absolutely sexual harassment and ragging cases to be curtailed, and so students should have a mechanism where they should report. Okay, there should not be any second thought. Immediately the answer should be there, already there in their minds. So without any fear, without any hindrance, they should be able to report, or they should able to express their grievances. So that's why implementation of guidelines of statutory or regulatory bodies. So UGC, AICT and affiliating university will send guidelines or statutory explanations or statutory circulars. So we need to implement, and we need to make the stakeholders be aware of all such guidelines. So we have to display it in a notice board, we have to display in corridors in terms of display boards, then wide awareness and undertaking on policies. See, college collecting signed undertakings by students, we should display in notice boards. Okay, display boards should be announced in the website, and emergency contact numbers, and in website itself online and offline student grievances. Okay, submission of student grievances. So by clicking the online, one can directly submit the grievances online. So, and timely redressal, that this is most important. The moment when a student registers a grievance, so the committee, sexual harassment addressing, so one should address all such and ragging cases also. And timely redressal of grievances is most important, and within no time all such grievances to be addressed. So similar all the data requirements pertaining to grievance redressal and the committees, minutes of the meetings, all these needs to be uploaded as a data. So now weightage, see, wherever QNM is there, it is a quantitative matrix, and the weightage is also given in the parentheses. So now student progression, the institution definitely should have concern for students' progression to higher studies. So because some of the students, at least I consider at least about 15 to 20% of the students would like to continue their studies. So B to or BTech to B, or BTech to ME or MTech or MS. Okay, they would like to move on, and they don't have to stick at BE qualification only. So not that every student is interested, but at least we can expect about 20% of the students in a class would like to write GRE, would like to write TOEFL, would like to write GATE examination, and then would like to continue their studies. So we have to have some concern towards such students. We have to finally all our efforts finally should get reflected in terms of how many number of students have emerged as successful, or they have joined the higher studies. So now skill development courses. Otherwise, there is one more progression kind of a thing is, one is higher studies, the other is employment. So to enhance the employment, why the students are attaining poor in a particular stream, so that need to be identified. and we have to have a plan and implement the remedial measures, because the challenges of the students are not same across the departments. Nowadays, as all of you know, the IT sectors, maximum employment is in the IT sector only. Okay, so and the average salary, as all of you know, it is about say 4 to 4.5 lakh per annum. So now in such a case, other core branches, the number of companies visiting the campus as far as the core branch is concerned is less. So how to address all these things? So we should have a different plan. See, finally, at the end of the day, at the end of the course, whether student is successful in what? Successful not only in getting degrees, successful in getting the overall development. Finally, he should be able to work independently. See, for example, in electrical and electronics, or electronics and communication, there are bright chances that students take up hardware projects. Okay, and they build up the hardware finally. So to build up hardware, it cannot be done overnight. So over the period of 2 or 3 years, right from second year when they come to final year, what are the various additional trainings to be given to students, and finally their confidence in building a hardware, so that how we can improvise, and then finally we should ensure that student come up with some live projects, okay, in terms of hardware development. So some kind of skill development courses for the enhancement of employability, and pass percentage in competitive examinations also, like GATE, GRE. So all these things we need to plan. So we can do this by involving skill development courses. Will definitely, once they undergo that, so we can involve the students in the ongoing research projects in the institution. And internships need not be only from company outside. Internship can also be offered in the research center of the institution itself. Okay, because students, once they start feeling the taste of working in the research project, then they definitely students will work overnight. Okay, so then kind of research culture will develop in the students, and we can give their efforts finally consolidate, and we can say they have been trained in the internship offered in so and so, say power electronics, or so and so, say in wide band gap power electronics, or in any other, say VLSI. So we may have to segregate different areas where the faculty can also train the students. So this should be done beyond the working hours. Nothing is possible between 9 to 5. So we may have to go extend. See, some of the faculty members will seriously work for the research projects, apply for the research funding, get the research funding, and then they work for their PhD. So students can also be associated with all these efforts by the faculty members and the department, and hands-on training can be offered to the students at the center of excellence developed in the institution itself. So apart from this, of course, we can try internships at different companies, and we can provide GATE and GRE coaching for, as I already said. So now employability, sustainable good practices which effectively support the students, facilitate optimal progression. So we need to have some good practices in the institution in order to sustain this employability, and we have to finally, students have to gain some optimal progression. So otherwise the whole meaning of joining to the degree is lost. So that's why placement coordinators, see, because placement finally cannot be fully done only by the placement department. So every department has to support the placement departments in terms of providing the placement coordinators from the department side, and the student should be trained in domain specific training. So every domain, maybe E&D, E&C, mechanical, civil, so every domain has a specific challenges and specific requirements. If those requirements in view of getting the employment is not fulfilled, then placement will turn out to be poor. So it is the challenge for the department faculty also or the placement coordinators from the department, they should they themselves can train, or they can arrange specialist personnel in view of providing this domain specific training to every department students. So now employability enhancement training programs, so this also can be thought of, and for implementation of such enhancement employment opportunities definitely can be enhanced under skill initiatives. And AICT has signed MOUs with many organizations: AICT LinkedIn, AICT ICT Academy, AICT Monster.com. So they all provide employability enhancement training programs, and as a additional effort. Okay, so then National Employability Enhancement Mission (NEEM). The objective of this is to offer the job practical training to enhance employability of a person, either pursuing his or her graduation bar diploma in any technical or non-technical stream, or have discontinued their studies. Sometimes students discontinue, so but for the livelihood they can register for such job practical training and increase their chance of getting employment. So now till date AICT has registered 12 agencies as NEEM facilitator under this scheme, and about over 30 students have been benefited from this scheme of AICT. So now vertical movement of students we have to really focus on, so that the entire education is taken to the next level. Okay, so now institutional provisions, whatever the institution provides, that should facilitate vertical movement of students from one level of education to the next higher level, or towards gainful employment. So in view of this, in some of the autonomous institutions, project based learning, mini projects, internships, hardware development projects, working on live projects and develop prototypes, all such exercises will take the level of education one level up. It is mainly because if it is only a classroom teaching without a gainful understanding of the concepts and subjects, the concepts provided in the theory, so if it is experienced by the students, they will remember such concepts for the lifetime. And definitely this hardware development, the students will definitely enjoy this hardware development projects, because once they are getting the taste of developing hardware, then they work overnight. And I have seen in many cases students working overnight and night out, and participate in hackathons and develop the projects to the workable or scalable prototypes. All that is absolutely possible by the students. Not that every student, like 100% of the students will not do, but at least our efforts, if it is benefit, if some of the percentage, say about 15 to 20% of the students have been benefited, then our efforts will have a justifiable meaning. Student qualifying for state, national, international level examination or competition should be identified by higher education institutions. So continuous follow-up is required, okay, to gather information. One is student will clear the examination, they will not communicate to the department. So unless we follow up and take the information, and then finally we should deposit, I mean in our repository, that should get updated. Okay, only then whenever NAAC SSR is prepared, all such information, gathered information, will help the institution. It is not only the word of mouth. We have to have, suppose if they have cleared gate, that gate clearance certificate we should have, GRE clearance certificate. So similarly, if they have been employed, then their appointment order, okay, offer letter, all such things we need to keep in the departments or in the institution as a proof of having attained such a yes. So now percentage of placement of outgoing students in the last 5 years. This is one more quantitative metric. how many students are outgoing and with the placement? Placement can be campus or off campus. Off campus means within 6 months of their degree, okay, or within 2 to 3 months of their degree. If they have tried and then completed their employment elsewhere, not through the campus, that can also be provided in the data. Okay, campus and off campus placements. So this data is required and need to be uploaded. So now student progression to higher education. So now how many students move from UG to PG, PG to MPhil, PG to PhD, MPhil to PhD, or PhD to postdoctoral. So that means all these students, those who opt to continue their studies continuously. So we need to monitor them, and we have to on their joining for very program, we have to take the joining or offer letters and upload and keep the data. So data collection and maintaining the data is extremely important. Otherwise, in the right moment, all this data gets not accumulated. So there should be a central data collection center, okay, or there should be a dedicated office to collect all these data and update the data in the institution. So now percentage of students qualifying in state, national, international level examination. This is also a quantitative metric, and it is very clearly given here. Number of students qualifying, number of students appearing. Then these two will lead to average percentage of students over 5 years. So this all these data and different examinations are mentioned here. And state government examination, of course, the PGCET can also be treated as a state government examination. So now institution should promote inclusive practices for social justice and better stakeholder relationships. Institution should promote value-based education for inculcating social responsibility and good citizenry amongst its students community. Institutions, because all these are extremely important, and of course infrastructure and promotion of active. Yeah, there was
Yes,
network connectivity issues. Sorry for that. Maybe it is from my side.
yes, sir. Unfortunately, it was disconnected. Actually, I came to announce
Yours
it.
is also disconnected.
Unfortunately, it was disconnected but from your side, sir.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yes.
Let me continue.
Okay, sir.
Um, am I audible, and whether shared screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible and the PPT is visible, sir. You can
Okay. So let me continue from wherever I stop. Student participation and activities. See, our efforts are definitely on, because finally the teacher's duty is to keep on our efforts in view of witnessing the students' excellent performance. So, but finally, whether all our efforts results into gainful award, receiving gainful awards and medals. So that is the metric. Finally, if our efforts are on and nothing come out, then we are going to lose in all these metrics. So this is most challenging. We see our efforts are on. Finally, we have to ensure that student perform well. Okay. So number of awards, medals for outstanding performance in sports, cultural activities. We have excellent cultural and sports facilities. Definitely every college, I believe they have. So, but finally, how to ensure this? How to ensure this? We need to attract good sports persons while taking admission. See, maybe some of the managements will offer a few percentage of seats to those who have excelled in sports. Okay, those who have excelled in cultural activities. There are many institutions which is across our place. So they give lot of weightage for the students, those who perform sports, by reducing the fees and by maybe waiving of the tuition fees. So a lot of such see, because finally it is also helpful in the other metric, whether college has provided fees, free ships, all such things. So now, while attracting all these sports persons and those who have performed well in cultural activities, because training a student without having any interest, it will go as a waste finally. So that's why if we identify some of these students, those who have performed well in their plus 2 or maybe in a 12th standard, so then they need to be attracted, and finally they need to take employment, they need to take admission in the college, and we can nurture them from that particular point itself, and finally for the next 4 years definitely they perform very well, and college will also get benefited in all these accreditation process. So number of awards and based on the outstanding performance of the students in sports and cultural activities with the proof, names, list and certificates, all this collection is hell of problem. So any moment, whichever the activity is done, a one-page report with the photograph and with the certificate, everything should go to the database. Then only we can retrieve the data and finally be ready for updating, submitting the SSR. So now, whether the students are permitted to have a student council, and whether the students are a part of academic and administrative bodies like academic council, governing council, class committees or department wise student associations. In all these things we can ensure the participation of student, and we can ensure they participate actively, and this also helps the students to develop holistically, overall development, their personality development, everything can be ensured here. So it is mainly because it is qualitative, so we can free to write in terms of 500 words or one page, and with of course with supportive documents. Okay, so that is qualitative, so that weighs for about 10 weightage both for autonomous as well as affiliated. See, now there is a distinct difference between the question which is posed for autonomous and affiliated. Here in autonomous, presence of an active students council and representation of students on academic and administrative bodies or committees of the institution. Then in the second affiliated college, institution facilitates students representation and engagement in various administrative, co-curricular, extracurricular activities. So there is a slight difference, so and marks weightages are same. Okay, so we need to answer for this by say one page and with supportive documents. So the number of sports and cultural activities and competitions need to be organized at the institution level. And here for autonomous it is weightage only 10. For affiliated college weightage is 20. And in autonomous college this weightage 10 is considered only if the institution organizes. Only if the institution organizes, I repeat. But in the second case, affiliated, institution can organize, or the institution takes the students to other institutions, and participation is also considered. So now there is a difference. So now see, one is 10 marks and the other is 20 marks. So affiliated college will have a more gainful weightage in this criteria, and it is quantitative metric. So now then again, number of sports events, cultural events, report of the event, number of organized competitions, number of organized competitions per year. So all such data need to be provided in support of that. Then this alumni engagement. See how exactly the alumni support the institution. So to my knowledge, alumni immensely support the institution. Okay, so because for whatever they have been trained, if they are trained well, if the institution has supported well during their ongoing education or during their ongoing degree course, so definitely they will come back to the institution and they will give back to the institution. So alumni are the strong support to the institution in general, and an active alumni association can definitely contribute in academic matters. So because we have witnessed many of our alumni, those who are working in various industries as eminent researchers or eminent professionals, they come back to institution, they engage weekend classes, they engage guest lectures, and they support the student in terms of all possible manner. So if the standing of the institution is for more number of years, we have large network of alumni, and we will definitely catch many alumni every year, and we should be able to, we shall invite them to the institution, and definitely they would be happy to come back to the institution, because the year when they graduated and the progress after their graduation, when they witness, they will be the most happiest alumni, because they will see a lot of improvements in the campus, and definitely it is a good point to note for them that they have studied in such and such campus. So that kind of attachment will definitely help or build the relationship between the institution and the alumni in the long run. The institution should nurture the alumni association bar chapter. So if the institution do not have a alumni association, I suggest they should have and chapter, and chapter means at various locations in India or maybe in abroad also. So one can have alumni association chapters. So then because some of the alumni are settled maybe in US, maybe a few in Dubai, so we can have different chapters in the name of this alumni association, and they will also contribute, being there in their own workplace or work country. So they will contribute, and to the betterment of finally the college. So now institution should facilitate alumni association to contribute significantly in terms of what? Through financial and non-financial means. It need not be only financial always. If the institution is self-sufficient, it can be non-financial also. Or whenever the alumni supports in terms of finance, most of the institution will give matching grants and develop the facility as a gesture of in support of kind gesture of the alumni. Institution will also add matching grants to the alumni's funding. So now alumni association bar chapters, whether the institution has, it is a qualitative metric again, whether the institution has this, then in what way it helps. So in what way in last 5 years institution is benefited. So all such supportive documents and explanations need to be provided in this qualitative metric. So strong alumni network can achieve the following, but not limited to curriculum development and industry supported courses. As I said earlier, we can participate the alumni, our own alumni, in the curriculum development, because when they start working in the industry, the challenges of industry and the requirement of industry and whatever we teach here, if there is a gap, then definitely they are going to help in revising the curriculum. And all such revisions are possible if we are a autonomous or the university. Affiliating colleges, definitely it need to be taken to the BOS, Board of Studies of the university, and they should look into. But affiliated college will also have a role in during the revision of the syllabus. They can represent by sending their letters to the Board of Studies of the university. So, but the process is bit slow. Arranging guest lectures by alumni, sponsoring technical activities. So, any technical activity conducted in the college, the students would get immensely benefited. And these benefited students, when they go and join the industry, they will definitely sponsor the technical activity what we conducted. And this we have witnessed in our own department case. Lot of alumni who have been benefited here by lot of technical activities, and they have developed a lot of projects also. When they move to industry, now they have sponsored all our technical activities in terms of finance. So it becomes a self-sustaining activity. The students pass out, they support, and we spend all that money whatever we have received from our alumni onto developing more and more technical activities in every academic year. So now we can also invite the alumni in sharing or judging the technical competitions, and some of the alumni or alumni chapter. See, because it need not be single person. Finally, alumni association will have funding because of all these fundings. So it need not be department. Alumni association is the institutional alumni association, and alumni can support the departmental activity or the institutional activity. So in such a case, some of the alumni will contribute to alumni association directly, and alumni association in turn take a step to sponsor medals for academic excellence. Okay, this is happening in most of the colleges. Then offering campus placements and recruitments. Okay, so because alumni, those who are well placed in industry, they will visit the campus for placements and they recruit. And because we also invite them for guest lectures, so that is the beginning. Then slowly the relationship will build, and then it will convert into gainful placement and placement for the junior students. So now internships at companies definitely is possible through alumni network, and they can be offering consultancy to the faculty members, and in association with industry, joint research papers can be published, webinars can be conducted. So, and there are no limits absolutely. And with all this, alumni can definitely take part in lot of the academic activities in the institution, and more the alumni participate, better is for any of the accreditation. And in terms of finance, as I said, this is also a metric. Alumni have contributed in terms of now money. See, there are various options. See, more than 15 lakh, 10 to 15 lakh, 5 to 10, 2 to 5, and less than 2 lakh. This is for autonomous. And for affiliated, it is not so high expectation, maybe more than 5 lakh, 4 to 5 lakh, 3 to 4 lakh, 1 to 3 lakh, and less than 1 lakh. So every category, whatever the support we have received, if it falls to a particular category, then particular weightage out of 5 we will get some weightage for whatever the category, wherever the category we fall into. So now alumni association, if we only have, that is not just good enough. Whenever there is a money, definitely audited statements are required, and all these audited statements to be approved in annual general body meetings or AGMs to be conducted every year. Normally, alumni association should have at least 1 or 2 meetings in a year. So now that ends with the criterion 5, and now shall I stop and stop at the end only, or shall I stop now and any discussions discussions to be there? I should receive any questions now.
Sir, we'll have discussion at the end, sir.
Okay, okay. So I will continue for criterion 6 then.
Sure.
Criterion 6 focuses on governance, leadership, and management. So now, under this, any functioning of any institution to be very effective, various policies and good practices need to be evolved. Okay, so and policies in planning the human resource and in the process of recruitment, and having recruited, then some of the faculty members require training, and out of this training, finally, taking training and not simply sitting. Okay, so finally it should get the student community, finally it should be done in view of a better teaching learning process, and finally it should be transferred to students. And unless the students are benefited, attending any workshops or FDPs or STTPs, it is not going to help. See, even if the attending STTP by a faculty member, if it helps for his own PhD work, definitely in a later day institution gets benefited. Or if it is whatever he has learned, if he transfer it to students by conducting skill development programs, students are getting benefited. So all these are linked together, and finally a performance appraisal, what a faculty member has done for the whole academic year, whether it is only teaching or anything beyond the regular teaching, that need to be included in all these performance appraisals. So because performance appraisal is not to penalize, performance appraisal is to encourage the faculty members, and those who are performing better, they should be suitably rewarded. So that also should be available in the policies. Okay, so these policies to be made, deliberated, made, and then implemented. Okay, so on implemented means when it should be made known to all the stakeholders well in advance. Okay, see, for example, if these are the policies, any policy the institution is free to make. Finally, every institution needs to excel. So in view of that, any policy, whatever the institution feels that need to be implemented, institution is free to implement it. But only concern is it or any policy to be made known to all the stakeholders, faculty members, and entire teaching, non-teaching faculty well in advance. And from this point on, all will be evaluated. Their efforts of faculty members will be evaluated and suitably rewarded. So that some kind of metric is also required, and based on developing the metric, a good performance appraisal scheme and policies should be enforced. So that will definitely help the institution in the long run. So then financial management policies and the overall role of the leadership is definitely very important for a overall growth of the institution. So now there are 5 key indicators. The first is institutional vision and leadership, strategy development and deployment, faculty empowerment strategies, financial management and resource mobilization, internal quality assurance system. So now see, this internal quality assurance system is the last key indicator in this criterion 6, and its weightage is small, but this internal quality assurance, if it is very effective, any accreditation process is always a success. So though it is a small part here, but it plays a extremely important role in the accreditation process of any of the institutions, whether it is NAAC or whether it is NBA. Finally, the suggestions and deliberations done in the internal quality assurance cell and the suggestions for the quality enhancement and their deployment and all such measures what is suggested by IQAC will matter a lot in the institutional quality assurance process. So let us see each one of them. See, these are the various key indicators, 5 key indicators, and what we have is we have different weightages for universities, autonomous and affiliated UG and PG. And you can see here all these key indicators will have equal weightage. Okay, so and the total is also 100. Okay, see now, but under each of the key indicator there are some qualitative and quantitative metric. So that will slightly change from various category of the institution, from institution to institution or various category of higher education institution. There is a slight difference. So let us see all these one by one. Now, in the institutional vision and leadership, effective leadership is to set values first of all, and it is not that dictatorship. It is the participative decision making process. Finally, effective leadership is what? Everybody should be taken to the fold and they should be persuaded, and then effective decision and decision making process to be finalized. So everybody need to be participating. So that only says the leadership is very, very effective in ensuring the quality. So now good leadership is the key to achieve. See, finally institution has a vision, mission and goals. So whether all these vision, mission and goals are reached or goals are attained, okay, or whether if not attained, whether are we really moving in this direction where the institutional goals are being achieved. So this is most important. And building the organizational culture. See, culture of the organization is to be built, and there should be good discipline and good follow, and which will definitely ensure the vision, mission and goals of the institution. So leadership should ensure the formal and informal arrangements in the institution to coordinate the academic and administrative planning. There are a lot of academic and administrative planning. So there should be formal and informal arrangements in the institution, and this leadership should ensure the day-to-day happening, or there should be some follow-up is definitely required in view of achieving the set goals. So effective implementation of the plans. If it is planned, that is not the end. Finally, it should be implemented, and once it is implemented, we have to finally what we should do, we should evaluate whether the implementation finally has resulted in the demanded goals or set goals. So that also need to be checked. So one is follow, implement, plan, implement, and then follow and evaluate. So these are main checkpoints good leadership should ensure. And channelize the institution's effort in achieving its vision. See, finally leadership should say, in 5 years from now we will be achieving this, and we have to work towards that. Okay, so that ensures a good leadership. See, now what are the various metrics that we should discuss now? The governance of the institution is reflective of an effective leadership in tune with the vision and mission of the institution. So it is a descriptive type, qualitative, which has a 5 weightage. And so absolutely, see, one institution should have perspective plans, then participation of teachers in decision making at various capacities at the department level. Lot of committees are there, and from department there can be representation in the institutional committees. So every stakeholder to be a part of the, in one or other way, to be a part of the decision making. Okay, So now institution practices decentralization and participative management. Okay, as I said, it is not the single person dictating. So finally, there should be delegation of power. Okay. So now decentralization, many things, because mundane work to be avoided, and decentralization of routine things need to be done at various department levels, and then we can ensure a participative management. Again, these are all qualitative, so one need to we need to explain in about say 500 words with the proper documentation and proper data to be proper details to be updated, and documents need to be available in the website. So then, in the second one, strategic development and deployment, the leadership should provide clear vision and mission to the institution. Leadership should ensure preparation and implementation of strategic development plan for the institution and departments. So strategic development plan, as I said, what should be our short-term goals, what should be our mid-term goals, what should be our long-term goals in the span of say 1 year and say 2 years and say 5 years. So all such planning need to be done, and then we have to have a strategic development plan. So this strategic development document need to be prepared by the institution, and we have to take the action taken report, whether we have only planned or whether we have really worked. So lot of such a retrospective, we should retrospect ourselves that whether we have really done or only said in the perspective plan. So all such needs to be done, planned, it should be ensured with the proper transparency. Then functions of the institution and its academic and administrative units are governed by the principles of participation. So this is most important, and with the transparency. So everybody know most of the functionality, so that will definitely then to be considered as a transparent system. So now inclusive management, delegating powers to associated personnel, and it is not only delegating power, then once the personnels are being delegated power, then it should be the responsibility comes, responsibility with accountability. So responsibility will not come just like that. So one should be accountable for whatever he has been responsible. This is also most important. So everybody should feel that they have been empowered, and now they are responsible and they are accountable. So this kind of feeling will finally be in everybody's mind for whatever they have been taken up and whatever they have been empowered, in what way they are responsible and in what way they are accountable. So if these things are clear, then definitely there should be a development, and the institution will definitely build to a better institution. So now leadership should also ensure formulation of development objectives, directives and guidelines. So because only telling you should do this, so that will not mere help. So we have to properly give direction and guidelines also. Based on these guidelines, one will definitely develop. So then specific plans for implementation of aligning the academic and administrative aspects. So how to plan various academic and administrative aspects? If people are not aware, so one need to inform them, one need to give some kind of training. So training not only for teachers, training should also be required for HODs at higher levels also. So training in administrating the day-to-day work. So that kind of training for various administrative people is also desired, and that will enable them to perform better and better in the years to come. So improvement in overall quality of the institution, definitely leadership should have some provisions. So now strategy development and deployment, this key indicator 2 in criterion 6, that will have a weightage of 10. And if the institution has perspective but strategic plan effectively deployed, then that is qualitative indicator, qualitative metric QLM, so with a weightage 2. So all the details again within a maximum of say 500 words we need to provide. Then functioning of the institutional bodies is effective and efficient as visible from policies, administrative setup, appointment and service rules, procedures, etc. All this to be made known and to be uploaded. That is again the qualitative metric for 4 marks. Then describe the organogram of the institution within a maximum of 500 words. So okay, there is organizational structure with the flow chart kind of a thing, everybody is aware of this. Okay, then that need to be described. Okay, all this will ensure marks or weightage 4 to be scored. Then implementation of e-governance. So this is most important because day to day lot of works are there. Every department, every institution to carry out day to day work. So lot of e-governance is definitely required these days. So because lot of accreditation bodies and say maybe NAAC, maybe NBA. So because mainly makes use of same data formats are different. So otherwise the time of faculty's time is lost in preparing all the data and formats day to day. Then teaching where teaching happens. So that's why lot of e-governance implementation is also required these days, and it is a quantitative metric for 4 marks. And e-governance in various aspects like administration, finance and accounts, student admission and support, examination details, all we can deploy e-governance. And see, we can take softwares from various vendors also, or if not faculty, those who are specialized, those who are capable of developing software, we have our faculty have developed a lot of software similar. So then we don't have to procure it. So what need to be done is, if it is procured, fine, then name of the vendor. If it is not procured, who has developed? We can always say our indigenous efforts have realized this kind of software. So that is also fine. Then when it is implemented, then enterprise resource planning document and screenshots. See, it is not only because all this data is getting digitally verified finally. So data validation and verification will look at all these, whether you have provided screenshots of the user interfaces. We can, otherwise earlier case, we can just only explain. And when they visit us, they will ask and we will show. So, but nowadays it is not like that. So everywhere, wherever the supportive data is required, we need to upload the data. Then faculty empowerment strategies. The process of planning human resource includes, say, recruitment, performance appraisal, and planning professional development programs, seeking appropriate feedback, analyze of responses. It is not only the feedback, we need to analyze also, and after analyzing we have to incorporate that in further planning. So now efforts are also made to upgrade the professional competence of the staff. So faculty member with say PG qualification will join. Then in what way their professional competence has upgraded? Have they registered for PhD? Have they completed PhD? Any support for their research is required. All such provisions to be available as a strategy for faculty empowerment strategy in a institution. So there are mechanisms evolved for regular performance appraisal of the staff. Okay. So now the institution has effective welfare measures for the teaching and non-teaching staff and avenues for career advancement bar progression. So it is a qualitative metric, 4 for autonomous and 5 marks for a affiliated college. So the faculty in some of the institutions the management provides seed money for the research. Okay, then matching grants for the support to support the research. Faculty members, as I said earlier, apply for the research funding. So now first job is to apply. Without applying, we cannot expect any funding. Okay. So whether funding is received or not, that is a secondary. But our mind should be tuned. Mind should be trained in such a way that we will definitely apply for the grants. So now after having applied, if it gets shortlisted and then funding is also received, then while preparing the project proposal, we may expect, for example, we may ask for say 20 lakhs. So, but the funding agency may provide say 10 to 12 lakhs. So now, if the faculty feels that without 20 lakh this project could not be finished, then most of the management will provide the matching grants. Whatever the difference in that proposal and the grants obtained, that difference is to be borne by the management. And in many institutions, management will definitely help this task. It is because finally when a research outcome is developed by the team of faculty members, then it is going to help the institution. Okay. So then provision to attend conferences, FDP and STTP. Okay. So this year absolutely no problem, because many faculty members have attended a lot of faculty development programs or short-term technical programs online. So no question of any registration fees also in most of the FDP or STTPs. But in general, that need not be the case because online is definitely okay in the present scenario, because some hands-on training is thought of in short-term training program, or in some FDP some hands-on sessions are provided. Then online, if it is done online, it is not of much gainful exercise for the faculty members. So in such a case, it is always better to attend in person, and while attending in person, whether registration fees is supported by the institution and whether SCL is provided by the institution, all these provisions, there should be some provision. Then it is up to the faculty member whether to make use of that or not. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Finally, in performance appraisal, it is getting reflected. Okay, so everybody should attend some conference, some STTP. Of course, during vacation time, a lot of conferences, lot of FDPs, STTPs are planned. So all such kind of provisions should be made available in the institution. Then support for professional body membership fees. Maybe ISTE, maybe there are lot of professional body memberships. So some of the institutions provide support for that. Maybe some institutions provide on installments, because institution pays and recovers in various installments. Okay, maybe in say 10 installments or 12 installments they recover from faculty. So all such kind of support may be provided. Then leadership training programs, as I said earlier, leadership training programs for experienced faculty members at administrative capacities, so they also require training. And EPF, ESI, Mediclaim, group insurance, all such facilities are to be provided by the institution. So whether all these are provided, then we need to explain in say 500 words, and that may add some additional 4 or 5 weightage to our assessment. So then average percentage of teachers provided with financial support. So one is provision, then provision is there by the institution, from the institution, how many faculty have made use of that provision. So this has more weightage now. Institution, earlier slide you can see, institution provides, then 4/5. Then faculty makes use of that 8/10. Okay, 8 for autonomous, 10 for affiliated. So number of teachers provided, unless teacher come forward, the institution cannot provide. So teacher should come forward also, attend, and then make use of the available facility. So then average number of professional development administrative training programs organized by the institution for teaching and non-teaching staff. It is not only for teaching, it is also for non-teaching staff, because some institutions there is not much importance for the non-teaching staff except their work is related to laboratories. So it is not the case, because whenever it is laboratory, in laboratory they should interact with the students, and they sometimes lack communication, they sometimes lack some technical capabilities. All such training, if they are not sent outside, at least some kind of training for the non-teaching staff should also be provided and to be arranged in the institution level itself. So if this is done, definitely we can write something in this quantitative metric. So then average number of teachers going online bar face-to-face faculty development program during the last 5 years. So this year, absolutely, as I said, absolutely no problem, because many faculty members during this corona pandemic time, it was the challenging time also, they have effectively utilized this time in attending large number of STTPs. Okay, so this itself is a big number for this particular academic year. So, and see, finally, orientation program, refresher course, short-term course, faculty development programs, year-wise to be listed, and see, IQAC report summary is also important. So, because if it is attended, that should be mentioned in IQAC report summary, annual quality assurance report. So that report, that summary should contain. So now reports on human resource development centers, okay, of UGC, academic staff training colleges or other relevant centers. So all such initiation and training facilities need to be provisioned. So then details of teachers, with all these details we need to enter the required format, and we may get 10 for autonomous. See, more is expected from the autonomous here, 10 marks weightage, and affiliated it is a 5. Then institution has performance based appraisal system for teaching. It is not only for teaching, it is also for non-teaching staff. For autonomous, earlier weightage was there. In this revised framework, they have not given any weightage for that. And in affiliated college, there is a weightage of 5 marks. So it is qualitative, okay. And all these qualitative metrics will be verified on the peer team visit in the college. So now, financial management. So now institution, budgeting, optimum utilization of finance, as well as mobilization of resources are the issues considered under this key indicator. So why this is very important, and what exactly is being checked? Established procedures. See, procedures cannot be done overnight. So procedures need to be established over the years of the existence of the institution. So established procedures, processes for planning and allocation of financial resources. This is going to be checked. Then the developed strategies for mobilizing resources and ensures transparency in financial management of the institution. This is most important. Then income and expenditure of the institution are subjected to regular internal as well as external audit. So these are the checkpoints under this key indicator. So based on these checkpoints, they frame different metrics. So now the first metric is institution conducts internal and external financial audits regularly. Auditors are definitely there, they perform internal and external financial audits. So now audited statements, and this is qualitative, so one need to write in terms of say maximum of say 500 words, that's all. And then second, funds and grants received from the non-government bodies, individuals, philanthropists during the last 5 years. Okay, So even if the management member himself is a philanthropist, that also can be accounted here. Okay. So now, if we, and all these are not covered in criterion 3. In criterion 3, some of the grants, funding, research, that is been covered. So it is other than what is not covered in 3, that only need to be added. So now in terms of what is that lakhs, what is the total such funds or grants received? So this also matters during last 5 years. So details of those grants and all supportive documents. So we'll have 10 for autonomous and 8 for affiliated colleges. Then institutional strategies for mobilization of funds and the optimal utilization of the resources. So this is qualitative metric which is for 6 marks, and one need to describe how the resources are, financial resources are mobilized, what are the policies, procedures of the institution. So that will cover. So then this is most important, as I said, internal quality assurance system. So internal quality assurance system of higher education institutions, they are self-regulated. So regulation on what? Regulation on ourselves. See, we should, how we should perform, that we should be aware of, and we should have a self-regulation on ourselves. And this kind of self-regulation need to be inculcated in all faculty members and all stakeholders, not only faculty members, in everybody who is associated with the higher educational institution. So self-regulated responsibilities of the higher education institution, scheduling of events well in advance. See, every event need to be scheduled. Okay, whether it is pertaining to academic, whether it is pertaining to cultural, sports, or co-curricular, extracurricular, any event need to be scheduled well in advance. And it is something like a car festival or a light festival of a temple. See, everything is scheduled. Every day, every year, every day, one or other event, something is planned, and this will go as per the calendar of events. So then that is called as proper scheduling of the event, because it is well planned. So planning is extremely important. Then it should be aimed at continuous improvement of quality. So all these events should be aimed at continuous improvement of quality. That is the sole purpose here. And what we need to achieve finally, we need to achieve academic excellence. And there is nothing like end to achieving academic excellence, because it is a continuous journey. Now, how to achieve academic and administrative excellence? So IQAC adopts quality management strategies in all academic and administrative aspects. So because this IQAC is such a important body in any educational institution, that the provisions made by IQAC to be followed strictly, and it should be well planned, and that is going to ensure definitely the excellence in all areas of the institution. Okay, so now doing everything systematically. Finally, what exactly it is? Doing everything systematically. Reduce the mundane work. Okay, so because everybody will tell, okay, there's a lot of work for this accreditation, that accreditation. See, if we have some software, once it is entered, for the reports to be generated for the last year, before last year, or last 5 years, last 3 years, because every accreditation body will ask for different years. But if we have data in a particular format, and if it gets updated, depending on the format, we can generate the data. So otherwise, every time whenever the data is required, then format is attached, faculty members will run here and there, enter the data, everything, and then give. And in this course, definitely majority of the data gets lost. If the same faculty member is continuously looking for a particular criterion, working for a particular criterion, then to some extent it is okay. Otherwise, if the faculty leaves the institution, some new faculty will come, so it is going to be mess. So that's why data capturing system, that should be extremely important. So there should be a central data capturing system in an institution, and whoever comes, whoever goes, the data backup is there, and how to use that data, people will definitely know. So this reduces the mundane work, and which to be made use of ICT to be made use of, otherwise this is absolutely not possible. So then institution learning and examination management system software, okay, so all this need to be made use of. Then IQAC suggests to adopt a participatory approach in managing its provisions by proper composition of IQAC, by delegating power to ensure participatory approach. And as I said earlier, responsibility comes with accountability. Then when one is responsible, then he is also accountable for that. Then institution has mechanisms for academic and administrative auditing. So administrative and academic audits to be done routinely, at least once in a year or once in a semester. Then quality assurance is a byproduct of ongoing efforts to define the objectives of an institution and to have a work plan to achieve. Then we should also have checks and balances to evaluate, and the finally the tasks need to be fulfilled. Okay, so now lot of devotion and commitment to improvement. Okay, otherwise it is only institutional control. So then to ensure quality, everybody is expected to have good devotion and commitment to improve. Otherwise, it is not going to help the institution. So now IQAC has to ensure that whatever is done in the institution for education is done efficiently and effectively with high standards. Now, in order to do this, IQAC will have to first establish procedures and modalities to collect data and information. As I said, centralized data collection system will definitely help. And IQAC may be constituted in every institution under the chairmanship of head of the institution. And composition of IQAC can be chairperson being the head of the institution, then teachers to represent from all levels, maybe assistant professor, associate professor, and professor may be drawn from various departments, and one member from the management, and a few senior administrative officers, one nominee each from local society, students, and alumni, and one nominee each from employers, industrialists, and any other stakeholders, one of the senior teachers as the coordinator or director of IQAC. So now, if this is the composition, then what are their responsibilities? Members of IQAC to shoulder the responsibilities of generating and promoting quality awareness. Okay, so one is generating and then promoting quality awareness. Unless the stakeholders are having awareness, then in what way they are going to contribute for the quality enhancement. So now, persons from various backgrounds. So members of IQAC should be persons from various backgrounds who have earned respect for integrity and excellence. Then they should be aware of ground realities of the institutional environment. It is not that IQAC members come, attend meetings, suggest and go, but any suggestions should be with respect to the ground realities of the institutional environment, whether this can be implemented here or not. That kind of reality, okay, or what are the constraints of the institution. So with respect to those constraints, the suggestions to be derived and finally that need to be implemented. Okay, so implementable suggestions and based on the ground realities of the institutional environment, that is most important. And IQAC members should be known for their commitment to improving the quality of teaching and learning. Then it is appropriate to choose senior administrators, as I said earlier.
Sir, Nagesh
Sir,
Prabhu,
you are
sir.
not audible.
I'm not able to hear your voice, sir. It is muted from your side.
Sneha madam, can you unmute him?
No,
Yeah,
sir.
I think
We
no,
are
it
good.
was muted. I didn't mute actually. Is it unmuted, madam, now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It
sir.
is
Yeah.
audible.
Yes,
Professor,
sir.
please.
Yes,
Am
sir.
I
You're
audible
audible.
now?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay, let me continue then.
Okay, sir.
I will share the slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it all right now?
It is.
Yes, sir.
It is
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Visible.
It
It's
is
visible,
visible.
sir.
I am audible also, right?
Yes, yes, sir,
Yes.
yes.
You're audible also,
Yes,
sir.
sir. So sorry for that. I don't know
It's okay,
what
sir.
went
It's okay,
wrong.
sir.
Anyway, so this is all online, so everybody should excuse for any such happenings. So now I was discussing about drawing senior administrative persons in charge of institutional services. So they should also be the members of, because finally the quality should be ensured in all the services of the institution. That's why library, computer center, estate is a resident engineer, student welfare officers, administrative academic tasks, examination section, planning and development section of the institution. So we can draw senior administrators from all these sections and be a part of IQAC. So because it is not only the academic, it is also the administrative quality. See, finally, every year academic and administrative audit need to be done. So now management representative should be very much aware of the institutional objectives and the commitment for the institutional improvement, because his suggestion towards and his visions towards the improvement of the institution and his desire of making the institution to be an excellent institution, that desire will drive the IQAC's provisions. So now local society representatives should be very high social standing, and membership of all the nominated members shall be for a period of 2 years. Okay. Now this is only admissible. It is admissible to change the coordinator of or director of IQAC after 2 to 3 years to bring new thoughts and activities in the institution. So it should not be monotonic, because since there are large number of senior people, let them also try something new and contribute better for the activities of the institution. So keeping that in viewpoint, it is advisable to change the director or coordinator after 2 to 3 years. So now what is the role of IQAC coordinator? Role of IQAC coordinator is very crucial in effective functioning of all the members, because he is the center of attraction for IQAC, and the implementation provisions to be finally to be deliberated at the IQAC meetings and to be finalized, and IQAC coordinator should deliberate on all such things in the institutional IQAC meeting. Now coordinator of IQAC should be exposure, she should have exposure in quality aspects, and to begin with, he can be a full-time functionary of the college and IQAC as an additional responsibility, or as the institutional size grows, he need not have a he can be full time on IQAC itself. He did not have, or very reduced teaching load can be given to IQAC coordinator. A separate office and secretarial assistance will definitely help. So because whenever a NAAC peer team comes, visits the college, they would like to visit, they would like to interact with IQAC coordinator, but at the same time they would like to visit the IQAC coordinator's office, So a separate office and secretarial assistance and all the related files of IQAC happenings, okay, and meetings, the meeting MOMs, everything, and the data, mainly data which is collected from various departments and various faculties. So all such data should be with proper documentation should be available in the office. So then the sound knowledge about the computer, data management and its various functions such as usage for effective communication. This is very, very essential. And IQAC coordinator will have a major role in implementing the quality of institution, and IQAC may derive major support from the already existing units. So it is only the support that is required from all the departments and from all these institutional services which are already existing, and it is a new beginning. IQAC coordinator has to start a new beginning because college was functioning earlier, right from beginning. So but already some processes are established, some services are already available in the institution. So everybody should cooperate with IQAC coordinator, because whenever it comes to collection of data, this process is always having breaks on it. Okay, so that's why IQAC coordinator have a lot of challenges in collecting data, and everybody should understand the challenge behind collecting data. And once the data is collected, then it is only updating on a semester basis or a yearly basis. So then operational features and functions are broad based to facilitate institution towards academic excellence, and institutions may adapt them to their specific needs. So these are some of the important roles. And submitting annual quality assurance report, because once the institution is accredited, then after 1 year of accreditation, every year, see, because normally once the institution is accredited, it is accredited for 5 years. So what is the delta X improvement every year in terms of every criterions 1 to 7? So that delta X improvement, or if it is 2 delta X, 3 delta X, that is fine. But there should be improvement. That kind of improvement will be reflected on to the annual quality assurance report, AQAR, which need to be submitted every year. So now, without submission, definitely.
Hello.
Without submission, definitely, our next cycle, second cycle, SSR will not be considered at all. So that's why it is the minimal institutional requirements to volunteer for second, third and subsequent cycle of accreditation. So AQR submission is extremely important, and without fail it need to be submitted. So then the annual quality assurance report may be a part of annual report, and it should be approved by statutory bodies of higher education, like before uploading. It should be approved by syndicate or governing council, executive council or board of management, and finally that need to be submitted to the website of NAAC. So then IQAC may create its exclusive window tab. So because in every institutional website there should be a separate window tab, and all the happenings of IQAC, peer team reports, AQAR and certificate of accreditation, outcomes, and need to be regularly uploaded, and report on any activity can also be hosted in the website as well as in AQAR. So this updating the website in that IQAC exclusive window, updating in that window all happenings of IQAC and quality provisions, that is extremely important. So now importance of regular submission, as I said, NAAC has mandated that it is mandatorily submitted, otherwise next cycle one cannot apply. So that's why it is very, very important submission of AQAR. So now IQAC meeting guidelines, it should be done at least once in every quarter. So at least 4 meetings need to be conducted, and discussion on challenges faced, then guidelines for various academic and administrative procedures. All these can be deliberated, and all deliberation and agenda to be provided at the beginning, then minutes and action taken reports are to be documented with the official signatures and to be maintained electronically in a retrievable format. So now, internal quality assurance system, all these provisions in the institution will have 30 marks weightage in a SSR. So now internal quality assurance cell has contributed significantly. We have to justify that internal quality assurance cell, what is existing in the institution, has significantly contributed in terms of assuring the quality by the various strategies and processes. So it is a qualitative metric for 10 marks, and the institution reviews its teaching learning process, structures and methodologies of operations and learning outcomes at periodic intervals through IQAC setup as per the norms. This is again qualitative, which is for 10 marks, and supportive documents. Then quality assurance initiatives of the institution includes, this is quantitative matrix, this for 10 marks, regular meeting of IQAC cell, timely submission of AQAR, feedback collected, analyzed and used for improvements. So feedback from students, feedback from faculty, feedback from other stakeholders, feedback from employers. So all stakeholders feedback need to be collected, it need to be analyzed, and after analyzing, one need to use that analysis for further improvement and implementation. Then this is most important, academic and administrative audit, AAA, and initiation and follow-up action. So academic and administrative audit need to be definitely conducted. If at all we need to score this 10 marks, 10 out of 10. So, and not only conducting, and follow-up and follow-up action, corrective measures. What is that? The suggestions of the experts who has done academic and administrative audit. So academic and administrative audit members can be drawn from renowned institutions and from any other outside agencies. So then collaborative quality initiatives with other institutions. See, in what way we have collaborative quality initiatives with the other institutions. So that also need to be, because without any collaboration, if we do on our own, it may not help the cause. Finally, we need to collaborate in one or other way with the other institutions. So it can be industry, it can be other educational institution. So in view of what? In view of improving the teaching learning of our own institution. Then whether the institution has participated in NIRF, this also will have a weightage. Then any other quality measures, certifications, whether the institution has a provision with the ISO certification, whether institution has applied for NBA or any other quality audits. So this also matters. So with all this, we may achieve this full 10 marks. So now, as I said earlier, this is the last topic of my presentation. As I said earlier, this 1000 marks, finally it is 1000 mark for 7 criteria. Whether answering all these 1000 mark is whether it is necessary, absolutely not. So NAAC has approved the provision to institutes to opt out. We can opt out some of the metrics which are not applicable to us. So, but we need to justify and convince that if the NAAC team gets convinced that it is not applicable really, then that option is true. Then which are the rules then? If it is okay, then which are the rules? Maximum weightage of metrics that can be opted out shouldn't exceed 50, that is 5%. So 50, more than 50 weightage, it is not a provision. Then metric with maximum of total 20 weightage per criteria can be opted out. We cannot opt out simply 50 weightage from one criteria. That is not allowed. Maximum of 20 in one criteria. but not totally not exceeding 50. Okay, then criteria 7 is essential. No metric can be opted out. Then metrics identified as essential cannot be opted out. See, they have designated these are the metrics which are essential, and that essential metrics cannot be opted out. List is available in the manual of the accreditation. Then qualitative metrics QLM cannot be opted out. Wherever our explanation in terms of a qualitative descriptive answer, that cannot be opted out. Only that means opting out is restricted to maximum 50 weightage in any criteria not more than 20 weightage, and it can only be QLM is qualitative, quantitative matrix can only be. Now essential metrics across 6 criteria. Why 6 criteria? Because 7 criteria is mandatory, we cannot opt out. Across 6 criteria have been identified for affiliated constituent colleges annexure 1 and autonomous in annexure 2, which can not be opted out. So they have given in this link which cannot be opted out. Then remaining finally we may feel that anyway we have justified all our quality measures in all these metrics. Let us apply for this also. So finally we may take such a decision not to opt out any metrics. So but there is a provision, if we can use, that is also fine. So now here I would like to conclude. We have discussed about key indicators, qualitative and quantitative metrics, and NAAC SSR preparation for criterion 5 and 6 we have discussed. Questions and responses in each of the key indicators and various metrics, that also we have discussed, and guidelines for opting out some metrics are deliberated. So I would like to stop here, and if you have any questions you can please pose any questions, and I should thank the audience for being with this presentation for this entire almost it is 2 hours. So I don't know whether I have effectively utilized my time. Hope this listening to this has helped you. So in any case I am there at this email ID. You can contact me at any time, and I would like to stop here. Any questions if you have, you can please if I am aware of such things, definitely I would love to reply, and otherwise your question will be eye opener to me. I will also learn through the exercise.
Thank you, sir. I request the participants, if you have any queries, it can be asked.
Hello, Nagesh sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Definitely. You are most audible.
I am Dr. Nagesh from JSS ATE. When the IQAC is to be constituted for the first time applicants?
Actually, it is not mandatory that IQAC to be constituted when you apply for the first time.
Okay.
But if you formulate, that shows your that shows your eagerness to improve the quality aspects, and it is suggested, but I don't think it is mandatory.
Okay. So,
but definitely, at least see, you will be definitely having some quality assurance practices in the institution. Now only requirement is officially you have to have a IQAC cell on paper, and having conducted, anyway you will be conducting meetings, then you conduct 1 or 2 meetings in the name of IQAC and show that you have already, but a lot of inputs and a lot of quality measures that will definitely be deliberated in the years to come. So that shows the institution's eagerness in improving the quality, which definitely convince the peer team.
Exactly, sir. That is, we are practicing, all colleges being NBA accredited institution, we are having the quality assurance system at department level nowadays. Now, but we
Yeah.
have to convert that into institutional level cell.
Yes, see what you can do is I suggest you can have a IQAC. In the name of IQAC, you identify one coordinator, and department wise whoever was responsible, those can be members. In addition to that, member from society, local society outside to the college. And as per the provisions of the NAAC, as I given in my slide, you need to include all such peoples.
Then what
Then
about the marks, sir?
alumni from industry, and conduct 1 or 2 meetings. That I think that is good enough at this level.
That marks reserved will be considered. Okay.
Yeah, definitely it will be considered.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any queries from other participants?
Hello, sir. This is Ravi Kumar here. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah. Tell me, Ravi Kumar.
Sir, is the registration of our alumni association is compulsory, sir?
See, one is otherwise it will be called as alumni cell. Okay. Cell need not be registered.
Okay.
But association need to be registered.
Okay.
When it is called association, it doesn't cost much, Ravi Kumar. Okay. So it is only registering in the Society Act kind of a thing. So it doesn't cost much. Okay.
Then there will be officially audit will be done, and we need to be submitting the reports to them
there should be
annually.
Office bearers for that
Yes.
alumni chapter, alumni association.
Yes,
And
sir.
definitely in any institution, there are faculty members who have studied in same institution.
Okay.
Okay, so they are the best people to be the office bearers to begin with, because they have contacts and they can establish contact with alumni over the years. And whenever alumni AGMs are conducted, so they can invite all the alumni, and based on the availability, at least few alumni will come.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. So one more thing, if I may ask, I don't know, there is a provision of 50 weightage marks to be opted out, as you said.
Yes.
Have you, in your institution, opted out on any matter, sir?
No,
If there are any suggestions could be given for
No, we have not opted out
affiliated institution.
anything.
Yeah, I
We
know
have
it's a
not
big
opted out
institution.
anything.
Any suggestions on that for affiliated institutions that it may help us, like, if you leave it out, because
No,
it might
suppose
not be.
why to opt out? If you
That
believe
is
that
what.
you have everything as per their quantitative matrix, see, finally
Yeah.
70% of our response to be in terms of quantitative matrix.
Quantitative. Yes, sir.
So before peer team visit itself, we will definitely know if data verification and validation is over, then we are through. 70%, nothing,
Yes, sir.
only 30% qualitative assessment by one-to-one interaction with the management and faculty members, IQAC coordinator, by the peer team, with the students, of course, alumni. Some kind of qualitative assessment is done in the institution, and that will not exceed 30% weightage. So, but earlier, in first framework, assessment framework, it was qualitative only.
Okay.
Because the peer team, NAAC peer team experts, they have to read all these 300 pages or 200 pages SSR, and they should come. Everywhere one will explain lot of, in terms of paragraphs, in terms of pages for every question. So then it is qualitative, and it is based on, then one can tell, no, they have not listened to us. They were biased, so many things. But all such things are not present now. It is 70%, only 30% qualitative. So if we are confident, then we need not buy, and if we have everything, all provisions, if we have, then there is no requirement to opt out, and it is only 50 marks. 1000 and
Out of
50 marks,
1000 it
how
is
does
50.
it matter much?
Small percentage. Yes, sir.
It's a very small, 5%.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. But as a measure they have given, we can utilize if at all we require.
Yeah, that's what I asked you. Since you have gone to that, and is there any benefit in that, or should we go ahead with 1000 marks?
See what provisions are there in NAAC, that I need not hide now.
Yeah, of course.
I need to tell that also. But then it is up to higher education institutions to utilize that, or just leave it, or just ignore it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any queries from other participants?
So anyhow, so any questions are there, you can
Yeah.
post it to their email, and
I will be sharing my PPT. I will be sending to the organizers. You can pass it on to audience. I have no objection. There is nothing like copyright for that. It is mainly taken from various manuals only, and
Very
with
exactly, sir.
somewhere here and there was something I might have added. There is nothing like not to share. Okay, so you can please share.
okay, Madam Sneha, can I express word of thanks?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah, so I was waiting for your signal. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Nagesh Prabhu. First of all, I should thank to you for accepted my request and invitation to be one of the NAAC expertise for giving your thoughts and experiences on two criteria 5 and 6. Criteria 5 deals with the student support and progression, and criteria 6 deals with the governance, leadership, and the management. So you have given very exhaustive and very informative talk. I hope all the participants get benefited out of this. Definitely going to be benefited because you have a vast experience, and also you are the main NAAC coordinator in the NMA MIT NITE. I knew your commitment, your involvement, and your delivery kind of approach right from our contact we know. So this is very informative, and also you have shared many of the things which are to be provided as the document, which are to be provided as the what do you call matrix and all. So anyhow, so it is very good, informative and exhaustive lecture on these two criteria. So on behalf of the management, myself, principal, and all the staff members, and all the 3 days FDP program organizing committee, I wholeheartedly thank you, sir. So extended very much thankful to you. And in future, if anybody need a clarification, I request all the participants to mail it to him, and you can also talk over the phone also. He will definitely clarify all your doubts. So on behalf of the management, once again, on behalf of the management, myself and the principal and staff of ATME College of Engineering, Mysuru, I wholeheartedly thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So I have one last word. Professor Govinde Gowda, your request is always honored, and there is no second thought for that. So thank you for inviting me. And I would like to thank principal and management of ATME College of Engineering, and management especially because management shows keen interest in all the quality perspectives, and they are attending. So this is one really, so I was not expecting. So, but management people have attended various sessions, and definitely they are showing a lot of involvement, and they are very keen in improving the quality at the institution. So definitely this is astonishing, and I wish whenever you apply for, I'm told that you are applying for NAAC and in the preparation of SSR, or maybe might have completed. So I wish you good, and hope your institution get good accreditation grades in the next peer team visit, and good luck to all of you. And in any platform, wherever it is required, I am always there for any discussions, and I am open to all the participants also, as you said, and I accept any queries through email. So in total, I would like to thank once again all of you for inviting me, and interacting with you. Also, I have learned many things. I attended first day first session, and later I could not attend because of my scheduled meetings here. In any case, I thank all of you once again, and I would like to stop here. So wish you good luck. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, officer. Thank you very
Over
much.
to Sneha.
Thank you, Sid. So I thank all the participants for your active participation in the morning session. So we have come to the end of our morning session, and I request all the participants to join the afternoon session at 2:45. Thank you all.